everyone. Welcome to the Wild Wild Roses Random Review. I'm the Mrs. and today I am reviewing the AMZCHEF Macerating Juicer. Now, we bought this from Amazon and this is what it looked like when we opened up the box. And it's really cool because this was the only one that I found with this particular red color that I love. And it was really easy to unbox and it was well packaged, so I was happy about that. And I didn't really need to use the guide that it gives you, the assembly guide, to put it together. I was able to figure it out on my own. Now, one of the things that you need to make sure you remember is to push this button in when you're putting the feeder chute on, and then you also need to push where it popped out. You need to push that button in to remove the feeder chute as well. So just in case, because I was stuck for about a minute on that part. All right, so now that I've assembled the feeder chute, I'm going to add in the auger. But before you add in the auger, when they package it, they put the sifter screen inside of the, or they call it a filter, inside of the feeder chute. So you have to pull that out, and then you just wiggle the auger in there, and it'll just lock itself in, and then you put the filter back over the auger so that way it will be able to make sure it separates all the mashed up bits that you call pulp. And now you will be putting the ProMace on, which is where the pulp pushes out and gets directed into the container that is the pulp. Now I'm putting the top mount tray on to the feeder chute. And then the only other thing is I go ahead and I check and see that right there is called the plunger, or that's what you would use to push any of the fruits and vegetables down into the feeder chute. Now, it is important that you make sure that you cut off or remove any objects that are going to be too hard for the drum to mash up on its own, of course. If you're going to be putting nuts down there, you want to make sure you remove the shell, that sort of a thing. As you can see, I'm using the brush that they provide you. It's a cleaning brush. And actually, that brush is really used to help clean the screen or the filter after you're done doing your juicing with the fruits and vegetables that you make your juice with. Now, these are the two containers that are provided for you. That is the pulp catcher, which is the one I am unveiling right now. That's the one that you put under the ProMace, or the little hood right there where the pulp will come out. And the other container is where the juice will be going into, and it has measurements there on the side of it to let you know how much juice you are extracting from your fruits and vegetables. And there you go. And that's what it looks like all put together. And cut them up properly. And you can tell right there that the cucumber, well, it didn't quite fit into the feeding sheet. So I had to cut it into slivers, as you see here in this picture, as well as chop up the carrots in a bit smaller bite sizes, because it can't handle the whole carrot going down when it starts breaking it up at the bottom, and it kind of it starts breaking up, and then it will jam up a bit. So I made sure that I cut the carrots small enough so that they can break up easily and not get stuck and jammed in the feeder chute. Here you can see what I was able to extract from the carrots and from the oranges. I am trying a recipe that I found online by Dr. Axe for a liver cleanse, and he recommended using all organic fruits and vegetables, as well as it being freshly squeezed, to make sure you get the proper nutrients from the fruit and vegetables. Fun fact, he also recommends that you do this every 6 months. I had no idea, so I'm way overdue. I also decided to go ahead and try seeing what it would be like to use the kale and macerate it and see how well it was juiced out of there, as well as some beets that I had. And I wanted to try beets because I know beets are very good for you, so I did that too. And as you can see, some of the beet pulp is coming out now because I am macerating, but it doesn't macerating, mind out of the gutter, just juicing. It's surprising how much there was a drip. That was how much juice I was getting out of the beets. So it takes a few of those beetroots to get that juice up in there to be able to attain enough even for a cup. I have no idea. I just know it's going to be a lot, and I will try it one of these days to see exactly how many beetroots you need to get to have 1 cup of beet juice out of all of that. So it worked really well. I was rather impressed with how well it was able to mash everything up. And when you do put your hands into the pulp container and pick up one of those, and they look really cute. They're like little tubes that come out from being pushed out. They're like pellets, pulp pellets. They're pretty dry. It really does extract a lot of juice out of the fruits and vegetables that do go through there. And I was super impressed with that. Now, as far as the noise rating is concerned, it says it's a 60 decibel noise rating, which supposedly isn't, it shouldn't bother a sleeping baby. But some people are light sleepers like myself, so they might be able to hear the noise, they might not. But here is an example of what it actually sounds like when it is turned on and performed. There you go. That's what it sounds like when it's working. And it's not too bad. I mean, I guess is what it's supposed to sound like. I have to be honest, this is the first juicer I've ever had, so I don't really have a way of comparing it noise-wise to another juicer, but to other appliances like a blender or what have you, it's not that bad, really. It isn't that bad. I have a grinder that sounds a little bit noisier than that. So, as far as, what I use to grind up our coffee beans, what have you. So that was, it didn't bother me at all. We don't have kids in our house that we have to worry about as far as little baby sleeping and that sort of stuff. So it works fine for our household. But if you do have a child and that's what it sounds like, it's up to you to decide if that's something that's a little bit too loud for you, or if you're more familiar with having many other juicers out there that you find that are quieter. Awesome. But for my particular needs, this is what I found that had the best reviews as far as overall performance, as well as what I needed them for, to be able to make sure that it could squeeze the juice out of kale leaves as well as the typical oranges, carrots, and whatnot. Now, I have to tell you, back there, I showed you a picture of this carrot juice picture, and I am telling you what, organic carrot juice tastes fantastic. This actually was really good when I put the oranges, the beet juice, and the kale together. This is what this particular mix is right here, and it was surprisingly very tasty. And I didn't hardly put any. I didn't put any sugar in it, actually. So it might be a great way of being able to make a nice special treat for your kids that can give them all the vegetables and fruits, nutrients that they need, and not have to add too much sugar or sweetener, or even if you want to use honey instead to sweeten it for them. And that is just a really nice special juice treat for them. Now, the other thing I have to say to you about this particular juicer that I was really fascinated about as far as reviews were concerned were the cleaning aspects of it. And that was one of the biggest complaints that I had heard about these particular juicers, is that cleaning them can be a real pain in the behind. And there are certain ones that you can get out there that are just almost virtually impossible to clean. I think it was like the feeder chute area that was a real pain in the behind to be able to get apart and clean all that out and everything. This was really super easy to take apart and clean, and there isn't anything in this particular product as far as part wise that it was not impossible to make sure it got cleaned out completely. So that was the one thing I have to share with you and let you know that's how it was for me experience wise in cleaning it. Now this is what I ended up with, and would use this leftover pulp for either composting in the garden or whatever is edible for our pets. Then I would feed it to our pets. And that's it. That is my AMZ Chef Macerating Juicer review. I hope you enjoyed it. I am happy that I was able to share it with you and let you know just how well it has worked for me and our Wild Rose family. You have a great day. Catch you on the next one.